Thank you for coming today to the Getting Started with RightSignature webinar. My name is Cord Wortman. I am a customer success engineer with the adoption team, and I've been with ShareFile for about 5 years now, coming up through our support organization. First off, I wanted to thank everybody for being here today. We're always happy to have attendees for our webinars. Our agenda for today, we're going to walk through how to send a RightSignature document for signature, how the customer will sign that document for signature, how to then download the completed documents. And then we'll move into how to create a template for your RightSignature documents, how to use the import overlay feature, and how to set up a verified email address for your employees. So let's go ahead and get into the demo. To start with, we need to show how to get into RightSignature. The easiest method is once you're in your ShareFile account, you should have the signatures option on the left here. All you have to do is click that and it'll take you right into your RightSignature account. And from here you can start sending documents or accessing existing documents you have already sent. Another option is you can choose Login in the right corner from RightSignature.com, and it'll take you to this page where you can enter your subdomain, and it'll let you log into a RightSignature account from there. Just hit continue. All right, and once you've entered your credentials, go ahead and log in. And then you'll be dropped on your RightSignature dashboard, the same as if you'd logged in from your ShareFile account. So first off, to send a document, all you need to do is come to the top right corner here and choose Start Document. And then we're going to do a basic send for signature. Next, you'll need to choose the file that you want to be signed. I'm going to use this benefit elections form. And then I will choose Prepare Document. Now I enter the name of the party and their email address. If I wanted to add additional signers, I can do that here by just clicking the Add Additional Signers. If I have multiple signers and I want them to sign a specific order, I can choose the Set Signer Order here, and then I can drag them around to whichever order I would like. If I wanted to add myself to the document, I can also choose that and include myself in the signer order as well. If you want to use a different contact integration besides ShareFile, which is the default, you can only have one contact integration enabled at a time. Now we can go ahead to the next step, and we can place our fields. So to start with, we'll go ahead and place a date field here, and then we'll place a text field for the name. As we can see here, they're just dropping where I've put them. Because I have lines on my document, what we can do is use field detection. So now, when I come in here and put a text field for my salary, it will actually match to the line itself. It did come up a little tall, so I'll go ahead and reduce that. And we'll place another text field here for my address. I can adjust that to be a little bit bigger. I can also come in here and adjust my name field and my date field. I'm a little unhappy with this name field, and since I've turned field detection on, I'm going to go ahead and delete that field. All you need to do is just double click on a field and it'll bring up your options here, and one of those will be delete. Now I can click the name again and it'll fill up the space and position itself on the line. Next here we're going to put some checkboxes. I'm only allowing them to choose one of these checkboxes. So what I want to do is on the right, click Show More, and then I want to do a checkbox group. All I have to do is click here, and I get two checkboxes to start with, so I'll go ahead and place those two. Double click, and I'll get the options for the checkbox group here. I'm only allowing one checkbox of these three, and then I want to add an additional checkbox, so all I have to do is click Add to Group, and we get that third checkbox here. And I can move that down for Plan C. If you want to allow multiple selections, you can also change the checkbox group options here to one or more. Next, we need to place the text field for the 401k contribution. Because I don't have a line for that field, I'll turn off field detection here and place my text box. And then I can adjust it to size as needed. Next, we need to do another checkbox group for this direct deposit. We only have 2 here, so I don't have to add anything to the group. I'll double click to get my options again. Make sure only one is selected. Now we're going to move down here to our name section. As you can see, I have the text field selected again for this. It's going to save the same size as the previous box. So if you have a number of fields using similar size text boxes, as long as I don't have field detection on it, it'll keep using the same size field. But I'll go ahead and adjust that here. All right, now I need to place my signature field. Adjust my size. Because signatures are captured as images, and in order to not distort those signatures, they do adjust both dimensions at the same time. You cannot just lengthen or heighten a box for signature. As you can see, when adjusting signature boxes, they only adjust on the diagonal. Finally, we need to place our date field. So I'll go ahead down here, place our date, and adjust it to size. All right, I'm double checking our document here to make sure all my fields are set up, and they are. So we'll go ahead and go to next in the bottom right here to review our document. So here we can set the name of the document. It's going to inherit the file name of the original file. If you wanted to change the name or add additional information for it here, you could. So if you wanted to add a year, for example, this will also be the subject line of the email. Next, the recipient, it's going to default add any of your signers. If you wanted to add a third-party person, you could as well. Add their email address, and they will be sent updates on the document as it is completed. In addition, if you wanted to add a personalized message signer is going to receive, you can include that here. Next, you can choose a number of options for your document. So if you wanted to set the expiration, it's going to default to 30 days, but if you wanted to, you could increase or decrease that. The expiration is limited to a maximum of 365 days for any document, and go ahead and extend it additional from that date if you need to. Once it has reached 365 days, it can no longer be extended. Next, you can set a passcode. By default, it's going to give you a random generated one here for the PIN number. You can pass that on either usually in a third-party program or over the phone or something like that, and the document will have to be accessed with that PIN number as well as the email link. You can also change this, so if you wanted to use a specific birth date or something similar, you would have the option to here as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn passcode off though. You can also add tags, so if you had a client number, you could add that in here. This will help for organizing your documents from your dashboard or searching for specific documents. You could always search by the client numbers and see all the documents that client has been sent. All right, now we're going to go ahead and send our document for signature. As we can see here, this is the admin panel for your document. So anybody who has sent a document will be able to access this page. You can see all your fields with the different field types listed. If you want to mouse over them, you can see if a field is still pending and who it is assigned to. So if you had multiple signers, they will be labeled here. They will also be color-coded if you have additional signers. So if I had a second signer, they would be blue. Over on the right side, you'll have your overview. The first thing you'll see is your status. Currently it is pending because John has not signed yet. For whatever reason, you have accidentally entered the wrong email address for somebody. You can always come into Manage, and then you can do an edit here to correct their email address. Just put the new updated email address in here and save. Once the email to the original signer has been opened, you will not be able to change the email address, so make sure you do it quickly. Also, if you want to add additional viewers, which are those CCs we talked about earlier, you can do that here. Choose Remind to send another email. There will be default reminders 1 week before the document is set to expire and 1 day before the document is set to expire. You'll also have some security options here. You'll be able to see the expiration, the passcode, and if signer sequencing is enabled. If you need to void a document because something on it was initially wrong, all you have to do is come in here and that'll stop the process. If something is incorrect on a document, After you have voided it, do not delete the document. You can use the import overlay function to add those fields back onto it, which may save you some work. We will go over import overlay in a few minutes. If you need to edit, either shorten or extend the expiration date, just choose the edit option here, and you can put in your new date. So let's say we wanted to extend this to the end of February, and choose update. Now we can see it's going to expire the end of February. You can also see our tag here. If you want to add additional tags, you can do so now. We also see the message we sent to our recipient here. To check the history of the document. So currently all we see is that the document has been created. If you need to download the original file, you can come up here to the download button and choose original PDF, and it'll download a copy of that file. This will not have any fields on it. Now we will see what it looks like from the signer's end. So I've received the document here in my email. You can see the name of the document here. You also see this reference number. The reference number is very handy if you ever need to call into support about a document. Make sure to have that on hand to provide the support agent, and they can easily look up your document. We go ahead and click on Review and Sign. So to start with, you'll see this red flag on the left. That will indicate which fields are required and what the next field is. We'll do the date, and then we do the name, and then as you can see here, this flag continues to jump as we move. If you ever need to jump to a specific field, you can always just click on that flag. So here we can only choose one. As you can see, it completes all of them once we choose one. So if we ever change it, it's only going to let you choose one of these fields. Next, we'll come down here to our 401k contribution. We'll agree. And now if we click this red flag, you can see it jumps down to those fields. Now we're going to look at the signature. As you can see with the signature, you can draw the signature yourself. You also will have the option to do a type signature, which will bring up a typing field. Type the signature in, and it will add it as a signature above. Let me go ahead and just click Apply. Do our printed name again here. And then we'll do our date one more time. Now you can see that flag has disappeared, which means we're completed. We also see down here, we have the option to submit the signature. If you need to, the customer can also save their progress if they have a particularly lengthy document and want to come back to it later. So I'll go ahead and remove a couple of our information here so that the document is no longer complete. And then we can do this Save Progress. You see we're saved there. I'm going to go ahead and close out of our tab. We come back to our email here, and we'll click the Review and Sign again. And as we can see, all our information is currently saved. So now as we can see, if we scroll down here, those last two fields have been flagged and they're able to be completed. And now our Submit button is highlighted. So we go ahead and click Submit. It's going to prompt to accept the terms of use, privacy, and e-sign consent forms. And then you just hit Submit again. So now the document's been completed. The customer gets notified that it has been executed. They can come in here. They'll see that it is executed, and they'll have the option to view that document. As you can see here on the right, there are a number of history events they can see, from when we originally extended the document expiration to when it was accessed, viewed, and completed and executed. If the user needs to download a copy of the document, they will have four options here. They can again download the original copy of the file without any of the fields. They can download the executed copy here, which will have all the completed fields on it. They can also get the signature certificate, which will show the history of the document and any relevant information about the signing process. They can also do a combined version, which will include the completed PDF and the signature certificate in one file. If they just scroll down to the bottom of their document, the last page will be the signature certificate. It'll include that reference number. Again, you'll also see all the information about the signers. Now as the admin, if we come back to our RightSignature dashboard, we can see the benefit elections 2023 that John Doe signed. We can look over here on the right and see this green check mark, and it shows that it is completed now. If we needed to search for this, if there were a lot of other documents in here, we can just put 202 in here, and because of that client tag earlier, it'll show right up. Just click on that document, Takes us to a similar page of what the customer would see once they completed it, but you have a few more options here. Again, you have your previous information here and the history. You also see that it is executed completely. You can then share this document if you wanted to share the completed form to anybody. Just come in here, and again, it's going to let you add viewers, same as before. If you do choose to delete a document, it will send an email to all signers and CCs. Everybody involved in the document will be notified that it has been deleted from the ShareFile Signatures portal. Next, we're going to show how to create a template. Once you come to your templates section, you'll see all templates that have been created and shared on your account. You can also create a new template. So we'll go ahead and click New Template, and then we need to choose our base file. We'll use that benefit elections file again. And then similar to just sending a document, you go to Prepare. And here we're giving the signer a role, so we can just call this Signer. If you wanted to add additional roles, you can and give them all different names. You can also add a sender role. So if I wanted to add a role for myself, I could do that. And again, you can set the signer order. The next person in line will not be notified until the first person completes the document. So we'll go ahead and just do the signer role. So all we have to do is go to Next. And again, similar to sending the document, we're going to have our option to place all our fields. All right, so I can go ahead and place my fields manually if I want, the same as I did before. But I also have another option, is I can use an import overlay. Because we already filled out this document for another person when we were sending it earlier, fields and their placement on this document are already saved. So we can come in here, and here's our benefit elections 2023 we sent to John Doe. So I can choose this. I can choose John Doe, all his signer components to be assigned to our signer role on this template, and I can choose import. And as we can see, all those fields automatically populate. You have the option to do an import overlay on any document you send or set up for a template and pull from an existing document that was already used. So this makes things a lot easier. Another option you have for fields in addition to the request fields is you have the annotate option. So if I wanted to manually come in here and add specific items, I could do that with an annotate field. Go ahead and delete this salary field, and then we'll use an annotate text field. So I could come in here, set the options for that field. So if I wanted to make this multi-line or anything like that, I could. And then I can put text in manually. And this, for a template, this will be included on every document. So I may not want to have the salary be the same on every document, so I'll go ahead and delete it. But what I may want to do is do a merge field for this instead. What a merge field is going to do is let me input that information before I even send the document, but it's going to be dynamic to each document I send. So I'll come in here and name this salary, adjust the size a bit here. Another thing I noticed earlier was on my address field, I did not make it multi-line. So if I come in here, I can click this multi-line. That'll allow me to put multiple lines in one field instead of just having a single line that keeps stretching out. And I'll also make the data merge field. Double check all my fields are correct. And I'll go ahead and do next review. This is going to bring up the email option here. Again, this email option is not going to change between users by default, but you will have the option to make changes to this before you send a template. So you could set up generic messaging here, but if you ever wanted to make it more personal, you could easily do that. So I'll do a placeholder. So now whenever one of my employees is going to send this template, they can come in here and just replace that new hire name with the actual user's name. As you can see here, we have the options to add a tag just like we did before. I could also set the expiration date. This will just be the default expiration date for any sent documents. It will not affect how long the template lasts. Templates are indefinite. All right, next what we can do is we can come here to create template. And as we can see, we have our template created. We can see all our fields just as we did on the set document earlier with the different colors. Now we have the option to use our templates. So we could send it for a signature, which will work just like before. So we also have the option to embed it in a website. We can also generate a share link. We can also manage any links and embeds, so that will show us how those links have been used and if we want to remove them. We can also view responses, so once we've used this template, we can automatically bring up any responses to that template in our dashboard. The option to edit this template, so if we needed to make any changes, we could. And we can also delete it if we no longer need it. Down here, it's the expiration and whether it uses a passcode. If you did not want to share this template with anybody else in your organization, you could set it to private up here. Otherwise, anybody in the organization will be able to send and use this template. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a send for signature here. And we can come in here, we can put John Doe's name in here, and our contacts should load here so we can see that was who we sent to before. Now the next step will be to fill out those merge fields. So just like if you were signing the document, you'll have the option to select the date, can enter the name of the person, and we can enter their salary. All right, next we can go to review. At this point, it's going to let us update this, so I can come in here, I can switch out this placeholder name. I can add additional tags, I can turn passcode on still, even though it's defaulted to off, and I could adjust the expiration. So if I want to add a couple days to this. Now all we have to do is do send document, and we can complete it just as we did before if we want. The final thing I wanted to show today was how to do a verified email for an employee user on your RightSignature account. So all they need to do is come into account and then settings. All you need to do then is scroll down to the verified email section, and you can add a verified email. What this will do is any documents that are then sent from this account to your email address will show up in your dashboard, and you will not have to go through the email process to access them. So it makes it a little more convenient for those in your organization who need to actually sign documents. So all you do is click here and do add verified email. So now if I go into my email, I should get this verification, and all I need to do is click the link and it will verify my email. So now if I scroll down, you can add additional emails. So if you're in the middle of a company change, or if you have multiple emails you need to keep track of, you can include a number of them in here. Now that we verified that email, and that was the one we were sending to John Doe, we can also see this email in here. So if we select it, we'll have the option here to sign. So all we have to do is click sign, and it'll take us to the signing process just as before. So all we have to do is complete our document here. And as you can see here, because I enabled that multi-line, we're able to include multiple lines of text in our document or in our field here without having to worry about if we were entering a single line of text, such as if we come down here and we just keep going, all it's going to happen is this is just going to get smaller the further we go. And then all they have to do is complete the document, and it would drop you back on your dashboard. Thank you for attending the webinar today. We're going to go ahead and move to our live Q&A. Please just add your questions in the questions panel in the webinar. Thank you very much.